I recall one time having to use the bathroom and just not having the strength to make it from one room to another. I was still using methods my guardian angel had taught me, but they were definitely not as effective as they were initially. I was sitting in a chair after drinking a lot of water. I really had to potty, but for some reason, I couldn't move my legs. I couldn't lift myself out of the chair. In my mind, I felt strong enough to move, but my body wasn't moving. I could literally see the bathroom door and I couldn't move. I was too weak to stand on my own. I had to call my son to help me up out of the chair, hold me up on the toilet to potty. I was so embarrassed and broken. This one incident took a major mental toll on me and how I imagined my future would be. I didn't want my son to see me sad, so I held back my tears until he helped me back into the chair. But when I knew the coast was clear and I was alone, I let the tears flow. I cried for hours, and I cried myself to sleep in that chair. At that moment, I can honestly say, I understand why people give up sometimes. To wake up and feel that useless is a hard pill to swallow. I didn't want my kids to have to see me like that, weak and broken. I have always been known as strong. So I take pride in being a strong individual that they look up to. I started to see a pattern of many different mental stages, but I was just too weak and broken to share this with anyone else. I didn't want people to think I was a threat to myself or others. It felt like those different stages mentally were taking over my life, not to mention affecting my physical health. I was waking up feeling, what's the point? Why am I here? Wouldn't it be better if I just wasn't? Wouldn't it make life easier on everyone else that was forced to take care of me if I were? The truth is, I needed someone to tell me I mattered. I was needed, and I had a purpose.
All right, welcome back. It is your boy Book Erban, and welcome to another episode of Urban Topic, man. And today we have a very special guest. We have Miss Lakeya Cunningham, the conqueror, the defeater, the warrior, man, the breast cancer warrior. Miss Lakeya Cunningham again, and she's also an author. How's it going, Miss Cunningham? How you doing today?
Hello, it's going great. Thank you so much for having me, first off.
Definitely. Like, you definitely been on our list, and we've been watching your movement. And then we also read your novel, just surviving cancer novel. It's so empathetic. It's crazy. It's really crazy. It's really blew my mind. Just all the experiences and everything, how you describe defeating cancer and just overcoming those battles. So we're gonna go ahead and dive right into it, Ms. Cunningham. For people who may not have known you, where are you from?
So I am originally from Greenwood. I was born in Greenwood. I was raised in Greenwood, but I was also raised in Lawrence. So I went back and forth for a while, and now I reside in Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay. Shout out to the Woods. Shout out to Greenville as well. Shout out to Lawrence too. Okay, the whole upstate South Carolina. That's dope. Okay, so back in 2019 and 2018. Okay, well, when did you actually have your experiences with battling cancer?
So I found out January of 2019.
2019, that's what
2019 that that I had cancer, and they found it at stage 3.
Wow.
Yes.
So for people who may not know the different stages, like how severe was the stage that when they found it? How severe is that on the charts?
So, I mean, even for me, just by doing my own research, I found that there are 4 stages of it.
Okay.
But what I didn't know was they had like a stage 1, 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. I was actually stage 3B.
Wow.
So just a step away from stage 4. But
wow.
And it's kind of based off of your because you can have it in more than one space, in which I had it in more than one spot. So breast people know about, but not my lymph nodes. So
No, man, that's a blessing that you're still here today and you
It
actually
is.
conquered it, right? Which is what your novel is about. So, what actually inspired you to write that novel while you was going through such a turbulent time in your life?
I guess um trying to make a difference for somebody who is currently going through it. And I mean, just making a difference for somebody because people made a difference for me. So I felt like maybe by writing a book, I could reach more people than not,
Okay,
if
okay.
that makes sense.
And,
Yeah.
and you definitely did. And I know the reception has been great since you released it in 2020. That's great. In 2021, correct?
Yes.
Yes, and
2021.
I know the reception has been outstanding. I definitely read the book. My wife read the book. We read it more than once, and it's just crazy like how you were able to just capture those moments and just describe those pictures of what you were going through, and just in that novel form, and just describe it with those words is actually, man, it's crazy. The empathy, man, is crazy, and the emotions in it's crazy. So, just in the book, Behind the Eyes of a Cancer Patient, you describe the events leading up to actually like being diagnosed with breast cancer.
Hmm.
Can you explain those events, like what it was like right before you knew that you actually had cancer?
Um,
Take your time. Take your time.
I mean, I guess the biggest two things, of course, that I noticed right before actually being diagnosed is um how tired I was. And I describe it to people all the time, but it wasn't a tired like, if you got little kids and you running behind them all day, you understand tired. But
Yeah.
it was to aspect of it's just a struggle to get out of bed tired. Just no energy whatsoever.
Just exhausted.
Just exhausted to the 10th level. And also I had a knot. Because even when you think about people that does the examinations, they'll tell you, you can feel a knot in your breast, which is true because mine is the size of like a golf ball or a cold. So you could feel that within your breast just examining. So those were the two things that were alarming to me and made me kind of want to go get checked out.
Definitely, definitely. And when you actually found out, like, what was your mind there? How was that feeling when you actually found out? Because how old were you at the time? If you don't mind me asking, how old were you at the
No,
time?
I was 30.
Relatively young, like
Yeah.
very young, a very young woman, a mother, a daughter, just a career-driven woman at the time. You was 30 years old, and you found out that you had cancer. Like, what was it like when you actually heard that from the doctor?
Um, I was in denial. That was one of the stages that I went through. Cause I was just adamant that that was not my paperwork. It was somebody else's.
Yeah.
Like he got my paperwork mixed up. Um, and just shocked. Like, why me? And just thinking that it couldn't happen to me.
Yeah.
And just amazing how, you know, things turn quickly. Turn quickly. So shocked, sad, concerned for my children's future, my future. So yeah, I had to take it all in. It was a lot to take in.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
For anybody. But you definitely became a warrior. And so, what actually, after you got diagnosed and after you started going through the treatments, what actually like motivated you to like figure out a way to actually go through those treatments and see that you actually can make it out and actually survive what us all like what everybody is so scared of and afraid of when it comes to cancer. Just survive this thing.
Well, I consider myself to be a woman of faith.
Definitely.
I definitely believe in, higher power. And before I even started my journey, there was a revelation given to me that God was going to heal my entire body. And honestly, that's all I had to move on. That was my entire thought process the whole time. Let's get it done. I'm a woman. I move fast.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen. Let's get it done. Let's get it behind us. And I know that God is gonna heal my whole body. Cause see, when He says something, He does it.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what I rolled off of. God was gonna heal my entire body, and that's all I had. That was it. That was it.
He definitely protected you. He definitely carried you, man. You here today,
That's
and
true.
you actually came out with that novel, and you also just doing great things in the community and with your movement as well. So that's dope, man. It's crazy. It's real heavy, man. It's real heavy. So speak about this if you don't mind, Ms. Cunningham. Like, how big was your support system around you, and speak about a little bit how you had to actually network, how important it was to actually network and find other people who actually went through or were going through what you were experiencing as well, and just finding like consolidation into them, you know what I'm saying, with those people, like how you were able to confide in them as well.
So shout out to my support system. I had a great support system. I had people all around me. I had so much love. It was crazy. It was overwhelming, actually. The amount of love and support that I had. But what I did find out, resource wise, that sometimes we don't have the resources that we're needing. When the doctor initially told me that I was going to have to go through these treatments, I was in shock. I didn't understand anything that he was talking about. I was very lost about all the resources and everything behind it. So I ended up reaching out to a lady, and she assisted me as far as tricks of the trade. My guardian angel, she knows exactly who she is.
Okay.
Tricks of the trade, and she was showing me just different, no notions. Because I mean, and this is what I explain to people: when you talking about doctors and nurses, they go to work just like we do, and we do the bare minimum, and we go home, right? So you really can't put all of the research on these doctors. That's why you have to kind of do your own research, and it's good to have these other places that you can research out too, because everybody's situation is not like your situation, but somebody is going through what you've been through. So, that is the way that I did it, with a lot of love and support. So, again, shout out to my support group.
Definitely.
Shout out to my support
group. It's really big to have just a great support system, and just a healthy effort when it comes to networking and reaching out to people in order to get the things that you need, and also be a resource to someone else as well. Right. Especially when you're dealing with something as serious as a health condition, a terminally ill health condition such as breast cancer. That's crazy. So, all right, my next question is this. When you actually seen that it was actually a potential for you to actually survive this thing, and I know you said at the beginning that it was already ordained because you have that relationship with the Most High. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But when you actually seen on paper that you actually can survive and beat breast cancer, how was that feeling? Like, describe that feeling.
It was amazing. The feeling for me was more of a, okay, it's up from here. Yeah. Like it gave me passion, and it gave me drive to. I look at it like God gave me a second chance, and I'm not taking it for granted. I'm not taking it for granted. So I'm going out. I'm doing exactly what I need to do, and the life He gave me back, I'm gonna give it out to others. Yes, so that's how I viewed it. It made me focus, and it gave me so much drive and passion to. I was thankful, right? Yes. But it's like, okay, we taking it to another level now. Yeah. We about to take it to another level. So.
Dope. That's great, man. You actually became an instrument, in your own words, of the Most High to actually go and do His work and just be a living vessel through Him. So that's dope. Right. That's dope, Ms. Cunningham. All right, so the next question I have for you, if you don't mind me asking, when it comes to behind the eyes of a cancer patient, when you in your novel, when you speak about how you survive cancer, how did you put together your novel? Like, just give people, like, for anybody that's out here wanting to come and write a book, like, give some words of advice to actually, when it comes to getting your novel published and printed and actually out for sale. Just give a little bit of steps, if you don't mind, for someone to just understand, who may be interested in becoming an actual author out here, and they have their own story to tell as well.
I say the biggest thing is sitting down and writing the book. Okay. That is probably 85% of the troubles that you'll have. You will have to get, because those little codes on the back of the book, the barcodes. I had no idea, like, that you had to purchase on it. Yeah.
The ISBN.
The ISBNs on the back of the book. I had no idea you had to purchase them. So once I found that out, I had joined a whole bunch of Facebook groups. Facebook can be an enemy or it can be a friend. Yeah. There was a lot of different Facebook groups that I was in that included how to, like the breakdowns of how to get the books out, and people just willing there to help you.
Yeah.
People are there for money, of course, but there are some people just nice enough to say, hey, I broke it down, and here's an insert of how to get your book written. So that's how I got my book written. I had a lady named Miss Lorna. Hey, Miss Lorna. But she helped me from the beginning to end.
Yeah,
So
that's dope. That's dope. So
yeah.
so basically, like you said, you actually had to get those thoughts on paper. That's the main thing. Get them on paper, and then just go out and network. You know what I mean? Just really put fire behind your body, behind yourself, and just go out here and like really find a way and just network. And one of the ways that you network was off of social media, which is Facebook. That's dope. That's dope. And where can you where can your book be found for people who may not know?
So there are a couple of places my book can be found. You can find my book on Amazon. You can also find my book on my website, thehealingkey21.com. And then, of course, I am at a lot of different local um, local places as well where you can actually get the book from me too. So,
Okay.
Yeah,
that's dope. You got a bunch of outlets. That's dope. That's dope. Keep grinding. Keep grinding, Ms. Cunningham.
Thank you.
All right, so we get ready to wrap up the interview. And before I let you go, I always ask my guests all of these questions because, as you described at the beginning, you are from the South. You are from South Carolina.
Right.
So, what's one thing that you love, and then one thing that you dislike about the South? In South Carolina specifically, but just in the South in general as well. And then, but for the thing that you dislike, what needs to be changed in order for it to be progressed and be better?
So what I love about the South is probably the mannerism.
Okay.
You'll find the friendliest people in the South, which is a beautiful thing to me because love is the leader, right? And the one thing I probably hate about the South is the resources. We don't have as many resources to be authentically who we are.
Yeah.
So just the resources of people stepping out and not really coming into groups of whatever.
Yeah.
Be authentically you because somebody else needs those resources as well. So just being authentically you so you are able to open up a lot of doors for a lot of different people.
That's dope. That's a great description of what you described. What we need to change is just become a better resource, and so we all can network and collaborate together as a people. All right, so for people who want to get in contact with you and just want to reach out to you, Ms. Cunningham, what's all your outlets? Like, what's your social media? What's your website again? And also just let people know where to find you.
Okay, so you guys are able to find me on my website. Again, that's thehealingkey21.com. You can actually reach out, email Healing International LLC 21@gmail. I'm on Twitter. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. You looking for me, you'll be able to find me either with my name, Lakeya Cunningham, or the Healing Key.
All right, that's dope, man. Make sure y'all go check out Ms. Cunningham, man. Please. You're also a motivational speaker as well, right?
I am. Yeah, I'm a motivational speaker. So if you guys have any events coming up and you are looking for a speaker, I am available. And I also do life coaching for survivors as well. Because one thing it's hard to kind of get back in the groove of things once, you are a survivor. So I do life coaching for survivors as well. So. Hit me up, people.
Nah, that's dope, man. That's great. That's great. That's great that you're giving back to the community after everything that you've done been through and everything that you've done triumphed. So this is your boy Book Erban. We had the honor and just the grace with Miss Lakeya Cunningham today to just share her story and her journey on how she defeated breast cancer. This is your boy Book Erban again. This is Urban Topic, and we out.